Football, like any other sport, has its great moments. Events that will live in infamy such as improbable goals or enthralling crowds. It's always wonderful to understand more about a sport. Whether you are a die-hard football fan or a betting enthusiast who focuses on it for when you want to become involved. Hello everyone! In today's video, we will take a look at 8 football moments you will never forget. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. 8. Eric Cantona's Kung Fu Kick. Sir Alex Ferguson's purchase of the enigmatic Frenchman, Eric Cantona, was hailed as a masterstroke, as he proved to be the catalyst for a period of dominance by Manchester United. Cantona's flair came with an element of unpredictability since this flawed talent had exhibited flashes of ill discipline on several occasions under the supervision of his manager, who would at times turn a blind eye to his infractions due to his exceptional skill on the field. It would eventually come back to haunt Manchester United and Sir Alex, as Cantona would etch his name into infamy by punching a Crystal Palace fan during a Premier League match on a historic Wednesday night in 1995 at Selhurst Park. After being teased throughout the play by an opposition spectator in the audience, his rage finally boiled over. With the score locked at 1-1, Cantona was on his way to the changing room for an early bath after receiving a red card on the pitch when he recognized his tormentor and flung himself stud first at the supporter. His kick struck firmly in the fan's chest, and Eric followed up with a vicious punch for good measure. Cantona earned an 8-month suspension from all football-related activities due to his crazed outburst, and the French national team sacked him in disgrace. Eric never expressed regret and later stated that he should have beaten him harder. Watford advances to the playoff finals thanks to Troy Deeney. After finishing third in the championship, Watford had narrowly lost out on automatic promotion to the English Premier League. In contrast, Leicester had placed 6th, pitting these two teams against each other for a place in the Wembley playoff finals. What happened next was one of the most remarkable endings to a football match you will ever see. With Watford led 2-1 deep into injury time, it appeared that extra time would be required to determine the winner of a fast-paced and hard-fought battle. However, Anthony Knockaert got a controversial penalty in the 96th minute following a dramatic tumble in the penalty box. Knockaert went up to take the penalty as the Watford home crowd could scarcely watch. Manuel Almunia had other intentions, as the goalkeeper bravely denied Knockaert twice after saving the initial penalty and the attempted rebound. With seconds remaining, Watford launched a counter-attack and bore down on Leicester's goal. Jonathan Hogg then cushioned a cross into the path of club captain Troy Deeney, who rifled home the game's winner with the game's final kick. Deeney brushed off his teammates and dashed for the supporters, leaping into the arms of an ecstatic audience that couldn't believe what they had just watched. Others rushed onto the pitch in scenes of sheer joy, knowing that Watford would be fighting for a spot in the Premier League at Wembley. In the space of 30 seconds, both sets of spectators, managers and players had experienced the complete range of emotions that this sport could conjure. Brazil 1-7 Germany. This match offered us a peek of how devastating German football had become, and it was one of the most significant defeats in Brazilian football history. The match's tenacity was such that following Brazil's 7-1 loss to Germany, the entire Brazilian country fell silent. However, when viewed as a sport, the Brazilian team made the most unthinkable errors which they are not known for. Joachim Löw's team had scored 5 goals by the first half's conclusion, but they weren't done yet, as André Schürrle added 2 more goals in the second half. Brazil attempted a comeback, as the Selecaos retaliated after 80 minutes. Oscar did score a consolation in the 90th minute, but the damage was already done. The contest came to a tragic conclusion with the Brazilian national team on its knees, dissatisfied and disappointed. Goal of the century. Diego Maradona is without a doubt the god of football. Maradona is best known for scoring the goal of the century in 1986 when he dazzled the audience with a flawless strike from a 60-yard run. Argentina's strong edge on the field was won thanks to a performance that perplexed the English team. Not only did that goal help Argentina win their second World Cup, but it also earned Diego Maradona the label of football god. This was more than just a target. This was a country that was recuperating from the wounds of a prolonged conflict, a people freeing themselves from the remaining restraints of a brutal regime, a country enthralled by the cathartic force of the lovely game. That night in Istanbul. The Istanbul miracle, as we like to call it, is undoubtedly one of the most surprising matches in the history of the Champions League and sport. The fact that a powerful AC Milan side scored an early goal in less than 50 seconds of the match dashed every Liverpool fan's hopes. Paolo Maldini scored the winning goal. Milan was up 2-0 thanks to a goal by Crespo, who was quickly followed by another goal by the same player, making the night even more painful for Liverpool. The crowd thought the game was finished, but the players weren't ready to give up. Just 10 minutes after halftime, Steven Gerrard scored a great header, which was quickly followed by a goal from Vladimir Smicer, making it 3-2 for Liverpool. The breakthrough came late in the game when Xabi Alonso equalized the score with a penalty kick. The game went to a penalty shootout and the Reds were able to win the title with a miracle, thanks to Liverpool goalkeeper Jerzy Dudek, who was an absolute wall in front of the goal. La Remontada. The second leg of the 2016-17 UEFA Champions League quarterfinals between Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona was yet another miracle, and it was one of the matches that we as football fans will never forget. Given that the Parisians were already leading on aggregate after a 4-0 thrashing of the Spanish giants in the first leg, many believed there was no way Barcelona could come back. The Blaugrana, on the other hand, stunned the world by winning the second leg with a 6-1 score, giving them a 6-5 aggregate lead and advancing them to the competition's semi-finals. Layvin Kurzawa's own goal, 2 Neymar goals, 1 Lionel Messi goal, and a dramatic last-minute Sergi Roberto goal sealed the victory for the Spaniards. The match is widely regarded as one of the greatest in the competition's history. Agüero clinches the Premier League title for Manchester City. Sergio Agüero is a living legend in the Premier League. However, he etched his name into Manchester City lore a long time ago, in 2012 to be precise. Manchester United needed to beat Manchester City's results on the last day of the 2011-12 Premier League season. A series of outcomes favored Manchester United, with United defeating Sunderland and City trailing against Queen Park Rangers. Manchester City needed another goal even after Edin Dzeko made it 2-2 in injury time. Sergio Agüero enters the fray. Agüero scored at the near post after a 1-2 with Mario Balotelli to give City their first league win in 44 years, despite Manchester United's disbelief at the improbable turn of events. Zidane headbutts Marco Materazzi. Zinedine Zidane, one of the greatest footballers of all time, announced his retirement from the game in a dramatic fashion. The 2006 FIFA World Cup was primarily expected to be Zidane's final football competition. He had led France to the final against Italy, which would be his final match before retiring. In reality, Zidane had a fantasy final match when he scored a cheeky penalty to give France a 1-0 lead in the first 10 minutes. Before the duo collided again, Marco Materazzi equalized for the Italians. The match concluded in a 1-1 tie in regulation time, necessitating extra time to determine the score. Materazzi appears to have shouted something to Zidane that enraged him in the 110th minute of the contest. In retaliation, the French superstar turned around and headbutted the Italian defender in the chest, sending him flying to the ground. Following Zidane's dismissal, the Italians went on to win the title with a 5-3 penalty shootout victory. With that, we've come to an end. What is your most memorable football moment? Let us know in the comment section below. If you're interested in knowing 7 players who cheated on their wives, click the video on your left. If you're interested to know about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, click the video on your right. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you next time.